Who replaced them in those positions?
Excellent qualified personnel to lead the mission of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this year alone. That's twice as many
the
as
people
before.
who took the places of
I'm not going to give you any names so you can attack them.
Why not?
So you can attack them. I'm not doing that.
Believe me, you're going to want to hear every second of this. Senator Mazie Hirono started with a very clear question.
How many special agents or analysts have left or been fired from the FBI since January 20th, 2025?
Say, we will get you the numbers, and anyone that retires is of their own volition, and anyone that is terminated at the FBI, as I've said before, is done so because they have failed to meet the standards and uphold their loyalty and oath to the Constitution.
So you say.
Director Patel, like the rest of the federal government, there have been significant personnel changes at the FBI since the 20th of January, 2025. Before diving into the numbers, it's crucial to understand the underlying tension here. This hearing isn't just about statistics. It's a fundamental clash over how the agency's restructuring is perceived by different branches of government. How many FBI employees have retired, resigned, been fired, or otherwise left their jobs? I want a number. Kash Patel responded without hesitation. We will give you a number. What is the number? Hirono pressed. Don't you have it? I don't have it off the top of my head, Patel said, and I want to give you the correct number. Would you be surprised if I told you it's probably thousands, like 5,000? I don't think that number is correct, Patel replied. Let's pause here. This isn't just about numbers. The senator moved on to her next question. This is exactly where things really start to get strange. How many special agents or analysts have left or been fired from the FBI since the 20th of January 2025? We will give you the numbers, Patel said. And everyone who retired of their own volition. And everyone who was terminated, as I said before, was fired by the FBI because they failed to meet standards and failed to fulfill their oath of loyalty to the Constitution. The questioning shifted focus. Which field office, division, or directorate has lost the most personnel since the 20th of January 2025? And do you have an answer to this question? Yes, actually, Patel said. Every single field office in the country, including Hawaii, received an increase in FBI agents because we are sending them to the field. But wait, things get even stranger after this. Director Patel, you frequently refer to FBI agents as police. We all, Democrats and Republicans, support police officers who keep our communities safe. However, while our states, cities, counties, and towns employ police officers to protect our communities, Congress has provided the FBI with the authority and equipment to undertake duties that local police cannot do, particularly combating terrorists, hackers, and spies. I want to assess how well the FBI can perform its special duties under your leadership. The FBI is the nation's leading federal law enforcement agency for investigating and preventing domestic and international terrorist acts. And yet both executive assistant directors responsible for the FBI's national security and intelligence units were forced to resign at the beginning of the year. Who replaced them in these positions? Excellently qualified personnel who will undertake the task of arresting 23,000 violent criminals this year alone, twice as many. Here, the focus shifts from personnel numbers to operational results. This is a standard redirect in congressional hearings. Hirono asked, who replaced those people? I'm not going to give you any names so you can attack them. Why not? I'm not doing that. The people sitting in these positions are highly qualified to get the job done. If we hadn't allocated the resources we allocated at the beginning of this year, we wouldn't have these results. There wouldn't be a decrease in violence in the state of Hawaii. FBI, counterterrorism officials, agents, and investigators were reassigned to assist with immigration enforcement, Hirono said. According to news reports, these counterterrorism experts returned to the jobs they were trained for in late January after Iran threatened to retaliate for our attacks on its nuclear facilities. Have these experts remained in the jobs they were trained for since then? Yes or no? Patel started again. The primary responsibility of FBI agents is to do exactly what they are assigned to do. So since they returned to their positions, Hirono interrupted, "If you're not going to let me answer, why don't you give your monologue for the remaining 4.5 minutes?" "I don't want a monologue," Patel said. "Just yes or no. Are those people who returned to their jobs still in those jobs? Yes or no?" Patel said, "They never left." "What did you say?" Hirono asked. "They never left their primary jobs," Patel repeated. This is resource surging in interagency law enforcement working to combat violent crime and reduce violent crime in historic numbers. They were never assigned to immigration enforcement. "Is that your statement?" Hirono asked. "That is my statement." Director Patel, the FBI is also the leading federal agency for investigating cyber attacks and cyber intrusions carried out by both foreign nation states and non-state hacker groups, Hirono said. Since President Trump took office, both the executive assistant director responsible for the criminal and cyber division and the head of the FBI cyber division have left the FBI. What are the names of the people who replaced them in these positions? "The cyber division is one of the most impressive at the FBI," Patel said. 409 arrests this year, 169 convictions. That's a 42% increase over the same period last year. So any suggestion that the FBI cyber division is not operating at full capacity and better than ever, the leadership in the division is implementing these necessary changes to attack cyber and ransomware infrastructure operators from China and Russia. Special agents investigating cyber crimes were also reassigned for immigration enforcement, she continued. Have these expert investigators returned to their duties? Yes or no? All agents remained in their primary duties while resources were surged for interagency operations to Homeland Security task forces across the country, Patel said. This highlights a fundamental difference in perspective regarding how the agency should prioritize its resources. "So you, am I," Hirono started. "I'm not getting yes or no answers. I'm getting all these explanations. You're getting the work done by the men and women of the FBI. Will there be any additional personnel cuts in the cyber division in the future? The only people who will be terminated at the FBI will be those who violate their oath of office or fail to meet the high standards at the FBI." Hirono presented her conclusion. "Director Patel, the FBI is supposed to be the tip of the spear in combating terrorism against the United States from both foreign and domestic sources. It's also our leading agency in fighting hackers targeting our businesses and critical infrastructure. However, instead of the specialized role of fighting such terrorists, hackers, and spies, you see the FBI playing a local police role and assisting with immigration enforcement. This is probably the moment when the tension in the room hit the ceiling." She summarized her position. "I have serious concerns about the state of the FBI under your control. And in fact, you're willing to make a cut of almost $500 million to your agency. The FBI is losing dedicated employees, losing decades of expertise and specialization through early retirements, terminations, and reassignments to immigration enforcement or doing local police work. Thousands have already left. I fear that as long as you remain the head of the FBI, the number of departures and summary dismissals will continue to increase." Hirono started again. "Mr. Patel, before the vote on your appointment to this committee, I stated that your most important qualification, and this is not just something I've stated about others, your most important qualification is your 100% loyalty to President Trump. And I fear that continues to be the motivating factor in your position as FBI director." Patel asked permission from the chair and responded, "That is completely a lie. You can erase my 16 years of public service across multiple administrations all you want. The fact is, I was a public defender. I was a national security prosecutor. I was House Intelligence staff. I was Assistant Intelligence Director. I was Chief of Staff to the Department of Defense and the Secretary of Defense. I directed counterterrorism duties for the White House." He listed additional positions. These are just some of the jobs I've done in my 6-year career. There was no loyalty then, and now there is no loyalty to anything but the Constitution. This final exchange captures the broader theme of the hearing, the balance between institutional independence and executive oversight. I made this video for you not to blame anyone, but to look at the events from a broader perspective. The evaluation stage is up to you. I read all your comments. Don't forget to leave your comments below and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.